You can't hear me. Can you hear me, please? If you can hear me, can you type yes? Callistus is saying he can't hear me. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Please, can we confirm if you can hear me? Yeah. Okay, good. So people can hear me loud and clear. Okay, good. So I'm just going to share a few things with us, and then I will talk about um, the session in Doha and why we're going to Doha this time around. Okay, so Unbroken, it's a movement that we have curated or created because a lot of people are trying to look for love, right? And so if we're going to make love last forever, there are critical things we need to do. My work and my life has always been about working with people, working with them through their relationship and through their challenges. And I can tell you the level of trauma sessions that we've had to deal with in the last few months has been startling. The people are tired of their life, people are tired of their relationships. We're talking to married people who are saying that if they had to make the marital choices again, they would have chosen differently. Then we're talking to singles who are trying to get into marriage. We're talking to parents who are worn out. We're talking to people who are trying to change career. And everything boils down to the fact that people are searching for wholeness. A lot of people need wholesomeness in their lives, right? And so a lot of the times we have to get into research to find out exactly what is happening. I mean, personally, I stopped taking speaking engagements for churches or for anything that is within 40 minutes to 1 hour. I stopped responding to them because what I see at the back end with people in working with them shows that there is a lot that needs to be done. Technically, I regularly work with people across 13 weeks. Even after 13 weeks, I still see that there's a whole lot. And so, what we're tracking and what we're discovering is that the greatest cry in the hearts of our people is the quest for wholesomeness, that our spirit needs wholesomeness. There's a lot of problems within people. People have been totally messed up, either by the people that raised them or by the institutions they found themselves in. So people are literally confused about what they want for their lives. As a matter of fact, you see 50-year-olds, 40-year-olds who don't know what they want. And so they're looking for the next person, next coach, next prophet, next this, next that. Everything goes back to lack of wholesomeness. And so, in working with people, I understand. I mean, I've worked virtually and I know how limiting that can be, right? And I also understand how life can be so distracting. I mean, in choosing where I live every time, I always look for the secluded areas. I look for the places that people don't really know, right? And because I love nature, I love serenity. People think that I am stressed. Yes, I work a lot harder than many people, but then my distressor most of the time is nature. Once I can see nature, I'm a bit able to self-regulate better. And that's why I live in the kind of places I live. So over the years, I always tell people that my wife was having a conversation with me, and then she was saying to me that, oh, she was saying, oh, that I didn't check on her, that day. And I was like, but I checked on you now. So I said to her, I said, but you guys don't check on me. You guys don't even think that I have a mental health issue. And then she smiled. She said, because we know that you are fine. I said, how did you know I'm fine? Right? So it's not you. And then I smiled. Right. But then the thing is, I didn't get to this level overnight. It was a journey. And for those of you who have heard me share that journey, it was a journey of sweat and blood. It was a journey that took me to a state in my life where I became tired. I followed several speakers, several people, several pastors. I just became tired, and it was almost like another, I just broke down. because this person says this is the 7th step, another person says that's the 4th step, another person says this is the 3 steps, another person. So everything didn't make sense because I have tried everything and I became tired. I'd become a religious junkie. And so I sat down in my room that day, tired. I mean, I was born in church. And then I told myself, Praise, you know what? Looks like nothing makes sense right now. You are going to implode. So you know what you got to do? You've got to find this God yourself. So I dumped everything I'd been told. And I said to myself, I am going to take a break from every activity so that I can find God and I can find me. And that was what the journey I undertook. I went on that journey. I called my pastor, Reverend Sam, and I said to him, Papa, I don't want to come to church for a while. And he was like, why? I said, because I think that I need to find myself. And, he didn't argue with me, he just said to me, Praise, right? I just be very careful, sometimes we need to go on this journey, but keep me posted. And so I went on that journey. I would sit at home, I would reflect, I would think, I carry the Bible myself. I started looking for what is working because I am someone, I'm very, very pragmatic and practical. If you tell me this is the 3 steps God decided, I'm going to follow it. If it doesn't produce results, I'm going to ask you questions, right? I'm not that kind of person that, they'll tell you, oh, do this, do this, do this, and at the end of the year, it's not work, and then you keep quiet and move on. I'm not that person. I will ask questions. So in my bid to ask questions, I encountered a bit of a challenge, but then I stumbled on a book that says that, the more you question God, the more you get closer to him. And that was what I did. Now, I realized that there have been tragic events in my life that I did not process. So I sat in therapy. During my therapy moment, my therapist, I remember, asked me a question. He just asked a simple question. When was the last time you cried? And it was as if the tap was opened. I just started crying. I wasn't just crying, I was wailing. It was as if they flogged me with something. I just kept crying. I was wailing right there in the office. And she was like, Prince, what's wrong? And then it dawned on me that when my father passed, I did not cry. Why didn't I cry? Oh, somebody said, oh, the Lord give it, the Lord take care. You need to man up. You need to. I did not cry. And then I had 2 mentors who died in tragic circumstances. I did not cry. I just moved on. So I realized that my coping mechanism, for tragic events or things that I don't like is to file it away and move on. And then to keep up with a smiling face and then keep up appearance and then keep solving. I plug myself into solving people's problems. That I move away from confronting my issues. But that year, I confronted it. And the moment I confronted the issues, I realized that my life totally got better because my breathing pattern changed. I used to have a lot of palpitations, I used to have a whole lot. And then I was asking myself, so why did I need to go through a therapy? Why couldn't I have told someone, And I realized that they were not equipped to take me to that level where I needed to heal and attain wholesomeness for myself. But you see, the outcome of that was that my life, I took it back from the hands of everyone I put my life. I started living my life, for God and for me. And I always say to people that, I have come to discover that life is so short that you can't afford another 24 hours thinking and brooding over things that does not add value to you and that does not contribute to your happiness. So every 24 hours, I want to maximize it. I want to love people recklessly. I want to just be there. I want to be me. I want to jump up when I want to jump up, drink water when I want to drink water, and do things that promote my mental wellness and emotional wellness. Now, I realized that the more I became well regulated, the more I didn't even know until one time we were having a conversation, and then my wife said, do you realize that you don't get angry? Right? And then my son said, Daddy does not get angry. Even when he's getting angry himself, you are wondering, and I didn't know how much I had grown until they mentioned it. Now, in working with a lot of people, when I see the way they deal with a trauma, some of them run into addiction, some of them run into stuff, then I realize that there are lots of things people would love to say, but maybe the environment is not right. But they don't also trust the people they're saying it to because the world is such a judgmental world. Now, where am I going with all of this? There is a outcry that Africa and Africans don't process trauma effectively. And this is playing out in several aspects of their life, from their love life to their work life to their parenting, to their marriages, even the singles are not left out of the equation. Now, there's a projection that says in the year 2045, Africans and Asians are going to come to fore. I'm sure some of you have seen me share this. It's the New World Order. And the New World Order says that by 2045, Asia will be the dominant force driven by China and India. Now, if you look at Asians and why they are going to do this easily, I was doing a study on China, for example, and I realized that the number of Christians in China is like 2.1%. Muslims is about 1.2% thereabout as well. The majority of people in China, they have a religion called Chinese traditional religion. Now, Chinese traditional religion is a combination of Confucius, Tao, and Buddhism, right? And then the ethos of those things, part of it is meditation, right? Part of it is hard work. So I can literally relate how their religion has subliminally taught them certain things that promotes their wholesomeness and mental wellness that many of us do not have. And so I realized that meditation comes easy to Indians as well, because Hinduism and Buddhism promotes that. It can come up as yoga. Some of us don't like it, but then you realize that they are able to, get into that Zen zone where they can process things accurately and then they can produce results faster. Now, if you go to the Japanese are some of the oldest population in the world who are also healthy. If you go to Okinawa, I am hoping that next year or upper year, we will go to Okinawa. I mean, it's a place that's on my bucket list, and I'm hoping that we can go there together as well, so that we can see the kind of air they breathe, the kind of food they eat, the kind of lifestyle they eat. So Asia is predicted to be a dominant force, in 2045. Africa is going to be the rising giant, fueled by youth and resources. The big issue is that a lot of our young people are dealing with depression. A lot of the parents are also overly stressed. South America is going to be a potential energy and food powerhouse. Europe is going to be a stable but aging player with niche influence. North America is going to be a tech and military leader, but declining in relative power. You can already see that we are on that decline at the moment. Middle East, energy wealth, but limited long-term stability. Australia, wealthy and strategic, but not a major global player. Now, what this is saying is that in 2045, Europe will most likely lose its traditional culture. North America will retain some aspect, but will be highly globalized. South America and Middle East, we have missed outcome, but still holding on to tradition. Asia and Africa will be the cultural strongholds that will shape the future. Note, Asia and Africa. So when they mention Africa, that's you and I, right? And so if it's Asia and Africa, Asia does not do competition, right? If you are competing with them, Asia is like every other colonial power. They try to dominate you. They are a bit benevolent, but they'll try to dominate you. And now, if Africa is going to stand a ground or play at a higher level, then we need to raise more wholesome people, powered from our family, people who actually are happy by themselves, right? If you study the Scandinavian countries and they say that they are the happiest people on earth, there's a reason for that. There's a framework for that. There are sets of activities that is promoting that outcome. So what they're saying is that by 2045, Europe and North America will struggle to define their cultural identity, while Africa and Asia will be the dominant cultural influencers of the world. Now, when they say will be, it's potential. Potential does not translate to performance. It's responsibility that translates to performance. And so one of the critical challenges of the future, they said that the number one killer in the world in 20 years exactly from now will be depression. Now, what is going to cause depression? Of course, a lot of people are not happy. A lot of people have unprocessed trauma or unresolved trauma. As a matter of fact, a lot of singles who are trying to get married have a lot of unresolved trauma that is leading to the kind of things they attract. I have worked with some people lately and their results is so magical. And they are saying, how come I didn't see this? I said, because you are not trained to see it, right? And so we are on a journey of wholeness, wholesomeness, strategy, understanding how things work. And one of the things we are trying to do is to take people out of their noisy space to a place where, so if you're coming to Doha, I'm sorry, we might need to shut down your phone. You only use your phone for camera. Yeah, but that you'll be chatting. No, we're not going to allow you do that because we need you to shut down. There are people listening to me since they bought their phones, they've never shut it down. Since they bought their laptops, they've never shut it down. And even when they shut the phone and the laptop down, the computer in their brain, they've never shut it down because their brain keeps working, their mind keeps working. So they can't sleep, they can't rest. It's about bills and bills and bills, right? If you, as a human being, all you think about are bills and bills and how to pay the next bill and how to pay there is no way you can transit survival into a place where you can innovate for humanity. Now, if you look at everything I've shared so far, Africans, it looks like we're not intentionally preparing for that future. And while it would look like, okay, our young people, they are tech savvy, they are doing a whole lot, but then what is the essence of tech savviness when you are already totally messed up within you? Have you listened to the way they talk? And those of us who are even older, right? There is so much fear that we are thinking, what's going to happen to my children? What's going to happen to my mortgage? What's going to happen to this? What's going to happen to that? There is so much happening within us that there is a air of uncertainty. And so we say that we can't win the war without when our broken pieces are not fixed within. So a lot of us are trying to win the war outside, but we're not happy. Maybe you have a child who's not making you happy. Maybe you have a husband who's not keeping you happy. Maybe you're even searching for love and you can't seem to find the right people, right? And so you are looking at yourself and wondering, when is this going to happen? They promised me that this is going to happen. Why am I not so lucky? You have a lot of questions you are asking. You are being torn apart, but then you are keeping up appearances and everybody think that you're fine. I remember I was talking to a client and the client said to me, he said, Praise, if you did not respond to me at the time you responded to me, I would have committed suicide. And this was last week. We were having this conversation last week. And I was like, you would have committed suicide? He said, yes. He said, but guess what? I have a lot of friends. I smiled in the midst of them, but I was dying and nobody knew. Right. And so you find out that even what we call friendship is already compromised right now, that people say somebody's their friend, but the person doesn't know the truth about them because you don't trust their capacity to handle what you're about to share. We cannot win the war without when our broken pieces are not fixed within. So if you look at UK relationship and data statistics, it says right now that there is crisis, right? The number of marriages breaking in the UK, blacks have the highest lone parent family. Over half were lone parents in 2021, which means 51.0% of the black family, right, have lone parents. So it means to see that divorce has happened or a single parent family. And so that is saying something to us, right, that we have the highest attrition rate when it comes to marriages, right? And of course, with the population, we have a whole lot of us who are planning to get married, but we can't seem to find the right guys. Matter of fact, the biggest challenge right now is that the women are prioritizing change. They are prioritizing personal development. They are going for meetings. They are paying for coaching. Then the men are nowhere to be found because we still live with that sense of entitlement. So the future is going to be something like maybe the ladies will have to start looking for cultures where their men prioritize personal development. But the data from the UK already shows us that there's problem in the marital system. Now, when it comes to marriages across the world, there are 7 reasons that has been given for reasons why marriages fail. Number 1 is domestic violence. Of course, when it comes to domestic violence, you don't need to be married to be a victim of domestic violence. Singles are going through some kind of domestic violence. If you have a father or a mother who is like a difficult person to relate with, it can be a form of domestic violence. But people are in marriages and they're enduring domestic violence, right? Number 2 is verbal abuse. And of course, you see the way we're raised. When many of us were traumatized, the way they shouted, yelled at us, screamed at us, in their bid to get us better, they eventually damaged us. Number 3, financial stress. We don't need to talk about a single married, especially if you live in North America, or the UK, financial stress, except you have found a way around it, right? This is one of the top 2 reasons why a lot of relationships crash. And then even singles who want to get married, you have a lady who has she's done well when it comes to her finances, then she's going to marry a guy who has no financial intelligence and they're going to run into trouble. So she's thinking, hey, do I need to sponsor another guy? In fact, I was sharing this with someone yesterday, right? And you can bear me witness here. for those of you who have ever been married or you are still married, when you were going to choose a marital partner and you were writing the list of the kind of woman or man you want to marry, right? I know that number one was God-fearing for many of you. How many of you put he or she must be rich, wealthy in your original list? I'm not talking about people who are trying to remarry right now. If you put he or she must be very wealthy or rich on your list, can you type yes? Right? If you did not put it there, can you type no? Let me see. Let's see. You put he must be rich on your list. Okay. Let me see. Mrs. said no. No. Sandra said no. Comfortable. No, 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 no. Right. So you can see how we self-sabotage. You were making a choice for your life, but then you did not consider comfort in the criteria that you wrote by yourself. What does that list say to you? It says that that list was never your list. It was the conditioned list of what has been stored in your head, that they made it sound like it was ungodly to put riches, or you were too materialistic to put wealthy on your list. If you put God-fearing, if you put loving, teachable, he must be evangelistic in nature, he must want to make heaven, right? And then you don't have means of paying house rent. So you see that many of us were subjective. So we didn't consider, we chose the way the typical Christian will choose, right? Because they must have potential to be wealthy. But we did not consider ourselves. So you did not choose you in making that choices. You just put the list that looks good to our brothers in the Lord, our sisters in the Lord, so that when you look at your list, they say, oh, wow, you are looking for God's will, right? But why would I choose God's will that is poor when I can choose God's will that is very wealthy, right? So you can see how many of us set ourselves back. And so you have situations where you eventually married someone and you are the one sponsoring the person. You are the one paying bills, right? So it's looking like you didn't marry a spouse. It looks like you acquired a child, because then you are paying school fees. Then the person is not working. The person, doesn't even know anything about finances. And so many of us self-sabotage even at the point of choices. So financial stress. Number 4, lack of sexual satisfaction, right? That's a major issue. I mean, we're tracking a lot of sexless marriages. The interesting thing they say now is that married people are not having sex, singles are having excessive sex, right? Isn't that an irony? Number 5, interference from in-laws. Number 6, infidelity. You can see infidelity is even number 6. Number 7 is marital stress. So I talk to a lot of people every week. People want out of their marriages in America, in the UK, and it's a lot of stress. But then when I'm having conversations with them, I am not looking at what they're going through. I'm asking, who were you when you made this choice, right? And I realized that unresolved trauma was how they made the choices, and they made the wrong choice. And if they don't resolve these issues, they are still going to make the wrong choices. So all these conversations, right, these reasons, you can narrow them to defective personal development and ignorance. That a lot of people still don't know till now that their life is not their life. In fact, I was telling someone, I said, the most dangerous person to your life is the person you surrender your brain to 3 times a week. That's why, as much as I love prayers, right, I naturally run away from the idea of someone leading me into prayers every day. I pray a lot. I love to pray, but it's just, strike me like, hey, if this person doesn't mean well for you, you're going to be in trouble, because after a while, your brain will not be able to think for you anymore. You are going to be thinking based on the dominant information that is stored in your head. So defective personal development and ignorance. That if you don't personally work on yourself, whether you're in or out of marriage, right, and you are ignorant of the systems you need to build, you're still going to run into trouble. And so once our identity is compromised, the very core of our essence is going to be lost. And what will be left becomes trial and error, which produce accidental success than a predictable success. And that's what we are having to deal with. See, the summary of almost all the clients I have worked with in the last 2 years is trauma. That's the summary, right? And that trauma it's linked to the fact that one, many of them didn't understand who they were. Many of them surrendered themselves to people who manhandle, mismanage them, and they didn't even know. And so a lot of them are struggling to break free, and some of them can't find rest for their soul because they feel guilty for even seeking to find rest. And they can't even rest because there's a lot of things to do. So as we move into the future, you need to understand that it must be a game of precision, no longer a game of emotion. I was sharing with a single lady 2 days ago, and I was saying to her that, are you aware that in making marital choices, for example, not until maybe 1700 was when marital choices was made based on, I love this person, or this is my choice. In the olden days, the choice was not even yours. They made it, you already betrothed as a lady. That was how Mary, the mother of Jesus, gave birth to Jesus. You're already betrothed to someone. Against her wish, you have to take that. In the Roman Empire, Greek Empire, age of Renaissance, in the Stone Age, love, there was nothing like love. Stone Age, it was you married because you wanted workforce. So the person that can give you the highest number of children was the person you married. In the Roman Empire, you marry because of inheritance, right? So people marry to acquire wealth or to keep the wealth within the family. I started interviewing various African families. So we stumbled on a particular family, a particular culture in Namibia. And they were saying to me that if you want to marry in that culture, you have to marry your third cousin, right? You have to marry. So I asked them, why must you marry your third cousin, right? So that's what they said. Number one, there is no divorce. Number two, you can't beat that. Domestic violence is almost to zero because you can't beat your cousin. And if you beat your cousin, they will report you. So in that culture, the most powerful forces are the parents. So they will report you and they will deal with you, right? But you see, the interesting thing about them that they now said was that, we instituted this culture so that wealth is kept within the culture. Wealth does not go up because if you marry a foreigner, it means that wealth has gone up. See, this culture still exists, right? I want to visit them when I come to Africa the next time. But you see, the future is about precision. What it means is you must grow to a level where whatever can produce the outcome you seek is what you must embrace. See, if you're listening to me, you're already 40. You are still depending on another person to tell you what life to live, how to live the life. Something is fundamentally wrong. It just means that maybe you have not evolved over time. You need to understand. I told someone, see, there are obituaries of 38-year-old people, 35-year-old people. You are 40, 45. How can you not take decisions for your life and stand by it? Why are you bothered about what people will say, what that person will say, what this person will say, and then you cannot do what you plan to do? So I humorously told someone, I said, many of us are like the brother of the prodigal. The prodigal was the audacious guy who wanted to go and flex, enjoy his life. So he went to meet his father, collected his inheritance, and went to flex, right? And then the brother of the prodigal was the good guy who stayed at home. Everybody thought he was good. But deep down in his mind, he also wanted to go out. But he did not have the confidence because of what people would say. He took his brother to return to show the hypocrisy in his heart because he now told his father, since I've been working with you, you did not give me a goat to throw a party. So he wanted to throw a party. He said, but then you throw a party for this, your son, who went to spend his money on prostitutes. So he actually knew where his brother was, but he didn't tell the father. So he revealed the madness in his heart. And you see, the worst thing that can happen to you is to have something else within you and believe in another life so that people can applaud you. See, nobody really cares about you. That's the truth. If you drop dead today and you are being buried, the people that love you, right, they will cry, but then it won't stop them from eating the next day. It won't stop them from making love the next day. It won't stop them from going to work. It won't stop them. The best they will give you is memories and then 1 minute silence. In fact, 1 year after your death, the people who remember your birthday are your immediate family members. Every other person will move on. So if that is the reality of life, why would you not want to live your life every day and be very happy with yourself? And so, based on our study of people who have attained wholesomeness and have been able to sustain relationships for a long time, we found out that at the base of everything they do is wholeness. They prioritize wholeness. They heal from trauma. They take them to that space where they take their life away from everyone they've done their lives into. And that was what happened to me. And they began to live life on their own terms. To say, you know what, if I fail, it's my decision. If I succeed, it's my decision. It's better to succeed or to fail taking my decision than to still fail taking someone else's counsel. So wholesomeness is the journey. And that's why we are going to the Middle East, to go and shut down and to go learn, right? So they talk about wholesomeness. They talk about they are skilled. There are things you need to learn that is not natural with you. For example, talking is natural. Communication is a skill. Everybody needs to learn that. You can't warehouse it by yourself. You need to learn communication. There are other skills you need to learn. Organization is a skill, right? There are critical skills in relationship that people don't have, right? That eventually sabotaging their relationship because, for example, if you're single and you're listening to me, you've been single for a longer time, part of the challenge you're going to have when you come into a relationship is you no longer know how to be interdependent or how to depend on other people. So it will look like your partner is slowing you down, right? And then you are wondering, look, it looks like I'm better without this person, right? But you don't know that you cannot use the same set of skills at work when it comes to relationship because you need to step away from work and step into relationship mode. So skill, purpose. Why am I in a relationship? Why do I want this person? That's one question 9 out of 10 couples I have worked with is never able to answer, right? What are my values? What is my vision for this relationship? What are the fitness tips? What are the things I must do daily for me to maintain my own wholesomeness and for me to maintain a successful relationship? That's fitness. Team spirit. What are the things that are non-negotiable in my life, non-negotiable in my relationship? Understanding is standing under, right? What that means is that I need to know the person I am dealing with. I need to first know myself so well, then know the person I'm dealing with in a way that there are no surprises. And then I create an environment where they can be honest about what they're doing. Then continuous development, which says even when I marry Jesus Christ, he will continue to develop. I mean, I was working with a couple and, when they first got married, it was that kind of family. They got married. Both of them were HND holders in Nigeria. They got married, and then it's that kind of family when they cook jollof rice. That saying that the bottom part of jollof rice is the sweetest. That's a poverty statement, anyways, right? But I mean, that was where they were eating. The woman would bring the pot to the kitchen, and they will scoop it. They will eat it. They will eat it together. But after a while, the guy went for his master's degree. Went for a degree program, did master's, second master's, and he got promoted at work. He became, got to C-suite level. The woman had not improved herself. And so this guy goes for meetings, 5-star hotels, meetings, then he's sitting buffet. He comes back home, she's still bringing pot. That thing that he used to enjoy became irritable to him. It was irritating him, and then he was complaining. Then the woman was telling me, I don't know what happened to him. He used to like this thing, now he's complaining. It's continuous development. People are not always at the same level. People are always evolving, right? Then strategy. That's one of the most critical. You need to learn the 3 triad of strategy. That for every challenge in any relationship, you need to learn how to do strategy, how to plot strategy, and how to win. That in every relationship you find yourself, you must differentiate between the war and the battle. Battles you can afford to lose. War is what you must not lose. But lots of people don't know the difference between war and battle. They just model everything together. At the end of the day, they lose everything. Then technical crew. To say who are the people, 1 or 2 people that you're going to defer to, right? If you're going to step in a relationship, you need to let them know, hey, I have someone I defer to, or you have another coach you want us to work with. These are critical skill or critical pillars that everybody who wants to have a successful relationship must have. Now, how did we come about this? I've always shared it with people that I interviewed 25 couples who have done 40 to 65 years in marriage, right? And everything that we asked them, this was how we were able to render it and bring it down to this level, right? And so we're going to be going through a state of awesomeness in Doha in November. So imagine what bliss looks like for you, right? And that's why somebody asked me, oh, why Doha? Why not US? When we're considering a venue for the Unbroken retreat, it's our first of its kind. We wanted to do wanted to do a cruise last year that will go from America, cross through Bahamas, Mexico and Bahamas, but then we consider our people in Nigeria and then getting a US visa to come and join us. It became so we shelved the old idea. So from this year, November, we're going to Doha, and Doha is because when we were making that choice, it was still, America was still somehow about the LGBT, they were not clear. So we wanted a place where we can speak our mind, talk about what we want to talk about without any form of fear or any form of somebody coming to ask you, you're homophobic, you are this. And we found out that as at that time, Middle East was a bit, was the clearest space when it comes to, this gender issue. Male is male, female is female. And then also accessibility for those of us coming from Africa. That was why we chose the Middle East door, right? And so imagine 6 days at the breathtaking Intercontinental Hotel with me, right? We're choosing Intercontinental Hotel. It's a breathtaking hotel. I mean, you will love it. I mean, you can check it out. Lovely space, right, in Doha. Basically, we're going to be doing games and fun. We're going to rediscover the joy of play through activities that create lasting memories, private coaching sessions. We're going to do strategy sessions. I mean, it's a loaded program. You are going to sleep a lot, right? But you're also going to work a lot. I'm coming to work. You are coming to enjoy, right? Group sessions, engaging in dynamic, life-changing discussions, group bonding. It's for single, married, separated. Everyone is coming together. Serene surrounding. No distraction. We're going to take your phone away from you. You're only able to use your phone when you are not in session, and then when you are you want to take pictures, right? There are some of the sessions where you actually literally sleep off. You go on a revocation, right? So arrival is November 3rd. Departure is November 9th. So Monday, we do welcome and opening night. Tuesday, we do explore Doha, and then singles meetup. We're having sessions with the singles, and handling critical issues, and then singles are mingling. Wednesdays and Thursdays, it's couples connection. Then we'll do coaching for specific singles who want private coaching that night. Then Friday is tours and all-white boat cruise, all-white party on boat cruise. Saturday, we do family live roundtable where we come together, do a debrief, and then we're taking generational decisions, right? To say, okay, everyone is going to look into the next 20 years to say, who are you going to be? What kind of legacy are you going to leave? You're going to write that out, literally flesh it out, and then we'll create some activities that you'll be able to track. Okay, so why Doha? I've explained that visa is easier for us. I mean, UAE, we considered UAE, but then UAE started having some diplomatic issues. So Doha is the easiest visa for now. And so we have engaged the services of a tour company. So Yomi, is Yomi here? Right? Please, can you come online? Yes, so that I can...
Good evening.
Okay, good. Yomi.
Yeah, fine.
Yomi is here. So I'm going to ask him a few questions because it's the one packaging the entire tour. Omodara Yomi. I mean, he has packaged a lot of stuff successfully to Doha, and so I'm just going to ask him a few questions, and then we'll take your questions if you have questions for him. Okay, okay, Yomi, I can see you. Is your camera? Your camera is off, right? Yomi, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I can see you now. Okay, so Yomi, a lot of people are going to Doha recently. What is special about Doha, and why Doha?
Okay, apart from the fact that, of course, it offers better connectivity for people coming from Africa because of the diplomatic issues, of course, in Dubai. If you are considering the entire Arabian Gulf, Dubai would have been the most preferred because a lot of people are already used to that. But Doha in itself has been able to improve significantly in their tourism capacity over the course of a number of years. They've been able to create an environment that fosters excellence. An average hotel in Doha is top-notch. It's almost like they have multiple five-star hotels across board, all over place. The excellence of their service delivery is simply breathtaking. Also, the city has a perfect blend of cultural and traditional religious what they call it reflection with their with a modern vibe. So it's the best place to actually position this kind of conference, which requires reflecting, catching up, having fun, and of course, a lot of people want to take a walk around the Corniche or the waterways that they have there. So Doha is just simply fantastic for it.
Okay, thank you very much, Yomi. I mean, I know that you travel a lot to those regions, and I mean, I've been to Doha once. Yeah, I went on my way to India, and my description of Doha, because we have to land at night, and because I'm well traveled, I tell people that landing in Doha was the best view that looks heavenly to me among all the countries I've ever visited in my life. I don't know how they achieved that. What's security like in Doha for someone that is worried about security?
Doha is one of the most secure cities, or let me say, it's the biggest city in Qatar, definitely, but it's one of the most secured in the entire Middle East. Maybe Dubai even is just at par with it when it comes to security. Of course, there are lots of things that happened in Dubai that doesn't happen in Doha. They don't joke around most of the things that the services they offer. Influx of immigrants into Doha is really limited. They have a very tight immigration rule around their visa, so security is really top notch. They have virtually the entire city is covered with CCTV and all of those things. So and from the airport itself, the tourism begins from the airport. Like I said, it's not just about the landing. The Doha airport, I've passed through there a number of times. So it's simply breathtaking, getting into the airport, then straight into the city. You can take a walk in the midnight in Doha without, betting a high lead or being scared of anything happening, basically.
Okay. Thank you very much, Yomi. I know that the conference, the retreat, is a retreat, is in December, 6 nights. Do you want to take us into maybe, I mean, a teaser into what the hotel looks like, where the one we've chosen, which is the Intercontinental? What are some of the things we can look forward to in that hotel? And why do we need to prepare early for November?
Okay, for November is the perfect time to visit Doha. Like the Middle East is usually very hot, but November is the perfect time because weather conditions around November will be between 24 to 29 degrees. So you can easily take a walk and stuff like that. Now, if I go into Intercontinental is a five-star hotel, and the services are exceptional, from the breathtaking rooms to the hallways to the services of each of the departments across board. You would simply be blown away. They also have excellent conferencing facility, both the fits. If you want 1,000 seater, or you want 250 or 200 or 50 seater, they have excellent conferencing with excellent amenities to take care of any amount of guests that we are bringing over for that purpose. So Intercontinental, we actually did a search between a couple of hotels, and we ticked off on Intercontinental based on the quality of the rooms they have, the fact that they have intercontinental dishes that cuts across different taste buds. And we also considered the fact that a lot of people would want to take a walk at night around the Corniche. And we felt like the Intercontinental Hotel is better located for accessibility to transportation, if they want to go shopping or stuff like that. So, and that's one of the reasons why we actually went down that way.
Okay, I'm glad that you've spoken about the weather condition because it looks like the weather is milder in November than any other part of the. And so, what's the importance of? I mean, because when we started talking about it, and then we spoke to some of our people, they were like, "Oh, by October, can I still join in October? Why is it important for us to plan ahead?"
Yes, I missed that. The bookings to planning ahead is so crucial to be able to lock down prices. It's apart from the weather, the cost of flight, the cost of hotel, And for the purpose of this particular conference, we've been able to lock down certain rates, which are going to only be made available till a particular period. And it will be released if we do not make deposits. And of course, the cost of tickets also begins to skyrocket once the gates gets closer. So it's extremely important and crucial that we begin to plan ahead if we want to go. Anybody who is interested needs to begin to make commitments, at least so that we can lock down flights and hotels so that those prices remain constant. And then every other thing we can build up on that. I think that is one of the most important reasons why we need to plan way ahead so that we can have things at the most affordable prices, and then we can get the best also within that. Because from November, tourists around the world begin to flow into Doha for because there will be winter in most places, and their hotels really get to go up in prices. So we need to lock things down as soon as possible.
Okay, thank you very much, Yomi. So everyone listening, this is the best price Yomi has gotten for us. So if you want, you're going to have retreat fees, retreat materials, 6 nights in luxury hotel with breakfast and dinner. We had to do 2 full board meals so that people have to worry less. So if you want a third meal, then most likely you want an African meal. I think there's a way to arrange that. So it covers 2 meals every day, 3 exclusive city tours, moonlight boat cruise with drinks, desert safari, Doha city tour. It covers airport transfers. So as you're landing, you'll be transferred to the hotel. It covers all these things. So if you want a single room, you want to stay in a room by yourself, it's $2,640. If you are not in Africa, right, it's $2,640. That's what you should budget. This does not include your flight. Your flight ticket, you can book that on yourself. If you want to stay in a room, twin sharing, it's $2,240. That's what you get to pay. Then if you are a couple, it's $4,480, right? Initially, some people had asked me, oh, why can't we get a single room and we will, and so I had to ask Yomi, and he said no. The kind of room they're going to give you if you are staying alone is different from the one you will get if you're staying as a couple, right? So, but if you are coming from Nigeria, what Yomi and his company has also done is to include flights. Now, that as a condition, because flights costs may start rising, right? So if you want single room, if you're coming from Nigeria, it's 3,910. 3,910. That includes your flight. So it includes every from flight. It includes your visa fee, right? All those things has been built into it. If you want twin sharing, you want to share a room, it's 3,610. And if you want a couple, you want to come as a couple, it says 7,220, right? And so you can start getting ready. What we've decided to do, we even want to know the number of people who want to go, right? And so we're going to have other meetings and put you in a group. So if you want to go today, you need to make a commitment of $100. That's the minimum cost to indicate. So they're going to drop a link. You indicate that you are coming in November, right? And then whatever you are dropping, we'll move it to Yomi immediately so that it can at least block some slots, and then we can now meet for those people who have made commitment and now decide on how you want to quickly, because the first thing we need to sort out is accommodation, right? We need to sort out all your accommodation. Every other thing can come later, but accommodation is very critical because the hotel is well demanded for. And then we don't want a state where all rooms have been fully booked, and then we have to start looking for another hotel. So you can use the link and click and use the link, and then make a commitment of $100 today, right? If you are in Nigeria, there is a DOM account. That's Yomi's company. Feel free to relate. There are numbers there you need to call. you have questions, please feel free to relate with us. It's something we want to do. And like I said, in another, maybe next year or 2 years, I want us to go to Okinawa. Okinawa is one of the most beautiful places on earth. I want us to be able to visit Okinawa and, go do a retreat there because some cancer patients even go to Okinawa now because of the air that they breathe there. And they're kind of, I mean, that's where you have the oldest people on the planet, right? And so I want us to go to a few places because hey, if you're not careful, you just live your life, stay on the same spot and go nowhere, right? But this one is not one of those the other retreats that you go. When people hear retreat, they think, oh, we're going to be doing is prayer. Yes, we're going to pray, but then we are going to take strategic action, answer critical questions. We're going to sit with you. We're going to provide support, and then we're going to ensure that everyone achieves whatever they desire to achieve. So I think that's pretty much it from my end. If you have any question at this juncture, the floor is open. Don't miss Doha. Your miss available. If you have any question, you can ask. Okay, I can see Dr. Cordelia Etuk. You're raising your hand. So please, can you unmute? I'll take your question.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Praise. Very interesting. So it's just a simple question. I'm seeing the bank details account, or we can put Naira into that account. And if it is in Naira, how much? What's the equivalent?
Okay. Yomi, is that bank details Naira or DOM account?
Be Naira. Let me send you. Let me drop the bank details. It should be Naira. Let me drop the bank.
Yeah. Okay, so what's the equivalent? I think you can make a commitment of 160,000.
Yeah, 163,000. The exchange rate today is 1,000. I mean, 1,630. So that will be the equivalent. Yeah. So
okay.
163,000 will be $100. Yes.
Okay, so please, it's a Nigerian bank, so you can do that transfer.
One more question, please, if you don't mind. So you keep saying today. So does it mean that if we don't make the commitment today, then what?
No. What we're trying to do is to plan ahead. So everyone who wants to go to Doha, right? You have within the next 48 hours to 72 hours to at least make a commitment. All right. So it's not today. Today is almost gone. All right. Maybe we can extend at least after 1 week. We need to have clarity on the number of people who are going with us. All right. After 1 week, so that we can sort out rooms. That's because we need to make deposits almost immediately. So it's not today. What type of food do we expect? Can you describe dressing to pack? Okay, Yomi. What kind of dressing should they pack? Is it winter jacket? What kind of food should they
expect? Okay, when it comes to food, of course, there's a way to get African dishes for those who would only be able to work with that. But you can only expect intercontinental dishes, both for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It will be basically intercontinental, meaning that you'll be able to cope with all of the meals. And if you want specifically African dishes, then you need to request for that separately, and we'll arrange that for you. And when it comes to, that will come at a different cost anyway. And the mode of dressing, because of the weather allows us to be able to dress down, and you don't need to pack anything that looks like, oh, maybe it's going to be cold. Of course, we all have different capacity for weather, so we can pack a bit of maybe a cardigan just in case it's just too cold for you. Of course, the weather will definitely not be hot in November, so you can be sure of that. But also for the women, they need to dress up properly because of the environment. They don't want people to expose themselves and stuff like that. So that's just about dressing.
Okay, so I think we are good with that.
Yeah.
Someone is saying, when it comes to twin sharing, what does it mean? Does it mean that I'm going to be paired with someone else in a room? Kindly define twin sharing.
twin share is two in a room. So it was created with the mind that there will be people, two friends who want to travel and for this, or two or couple and stuff like that. So that's what that was created for. If you don't mind, you can share the room with someone else. That you can be paired with someone else if you are okay with that. If you are not okay with that, you can go with a single option.
Okay. In case of unforeseen circumstances, why are you looking for unforeseen circumstances? There will not be any.
It's
Right?
part of what I deal with.
Is the 100 lockdown fee refundable or transferable? It's not refundable. Maybe transferable, yes. Because once you pay the money, it goes straight into locking down your hotel. They will just send everything to deposit for your hotel. So it's maybe you can transfer it to someone else, but it's non-refundable because we can't collect it from them. My name is Adedoja. For those that cannot arrive on the 3rd of November, does it change anything? Yomi, if you can arrive, maybe you want so instead of 5 nights, instead of 6 nights, the person wants maybe 5 nights or 4 nights. Does it change anything?
We will need to get in touch with the hotel because we are doing this as a group, and we are locking down the dates based on the group. It means the person will probably not be part of the group. If they are not arriving at the same time and departing at the same time, I don't know what that will play out yet, but it definitely will probably not be able to work with the group. But I will be able to, I'm sure I'll be able to come back, circle back to you on that.
Okay, and then someone is saying that if I want to extend my stay beyond the 6 nights, what do I need to do?
Okay, like I said, when it comes to group packages, the pick-up, the drop-off is done or, scheduled together as a group. So all those things will be affected. So if you want to extend beyond the normal days, it means, of course, we'll need to extend your hotel outside of the group, which will come at a different cost. We'll also need to arrange a private pickup for you instead of a group pickup, which will come at a different cost, but that's also possible. But we need to also be notified ahead so that we can make those arrangements.
Okay, someone is saying, is there any intention of coordinating flights for those interested in the diaspora? So I want to fly from Canada to Doha. Can you work that out for me? I think Yomi can actually help you book flights. It's part of what his company does. All right, Abi,
yeah.
Yomi?
Yeah, we can arrange that. We can arrange that. We just need to know ahead. We need to know who is coming. And it will be great if we have like more than just one person from there. But it's okay for us to know ahead. We'll be able to arrange that.
Okay. Okay. Looks like I've taken all the questions. Eniola, okay, I've seen the early bird price is what you're having right now. Those prices will go up because things are growing up. So by the month of June, prices will go up. So the early bird price is what we have right now. Okay, looks like any other question, please. If I've not taken your question, I'm just joining. What did I miss? Please, is recorded so you can go watch it. Okay. Looks like we treated all the questions. So someone is asking me, what's the difference between battle and war? Okay, so let me give a simple example. What's the right example I'll give? Okay, so a war. So for example, I want to be the president of Nigeria. That's a war. I must be the president, right? But while I wanted to be the president of Nigeria in the next 30 years, right? I'm looking at what are the routes that can take me there? And so then I come in and I want to first become the governor of my state. And then they call me to say, no, we want to put someone else there. And I have the means of fighting and winning. If I want to insist that I must become the governor. But the person saying I want to put someone else, there's someone who will be critical in my quest to become president. So I said to the person, but are you still going to support me to be president? I said, with all players, you're going to be president. But hey, for now. So on the short run, it looks like they're trampling on my right, but that's a battle. I'm willing to lose that. But the war, president, I can't afford to. So I will lose battles sometimes to win the war. I think that's the easiest way to describe this. Okay. Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? So it looks like I'm going to see all of you in Doha. I can't wait. I can't wait. There are gifts for everyone coming. You know, I mean, some of you have not been in the room with me for 48 hours. It's totally different from everything we do online. Totally different, right? You know, that's where I give my all, give my best with my team when we're working with you. But you're going to enjoy yourself. So give yourself as a gift. Don't miss it. We look forward to welcoming you. Okay, please join the group for more information. So there's a group, a WhatsApp community for those of you who are coming. Just click on that WhatsApp group, and then if you will be passing more information as it comes. For those of you coming from Nigeria, it's better to start so that we can, if we can lock down your flight, because that's also very critical. We have no control over price of flights. And the closer you get, the more flights goes up. The pricing we have right now is what it's looking like at the moment. So please, everyone, let's get started. And if you are faith in it, still get started, right? I can't wait to see all of you. I'm glad that we're able to do this, especially for those of us who couldn't go on the cruise last year. I'm glad at least this one, there's no visa restriction. And America is not fighting Qatar, right? So I can't wait to see all of you. I want to wish you a fantastic Good Friday and a happy Easter in advance. I will see you all in Doha. Okay, Sister Oye is actually on the call. She lives in, where are you? Where are you? Can you put on your camera? Is it possible? She lives in Doha. So that's our grounds person in Doha. Where are you? Sister Oye.
Hello, Surprise.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah, so you want to tell us a bit about Doha as well? I mean, since you live there. Yeah. What should we expect?
I totally agree with everything. Just a moment. I totally agree with everything that has been said, especially about the safety part, because I was just smiling because something happened to me yesterday. Let me share quickly. I got to the souk. I just left my car. I finished everything. I thought, oh, where's my car keys? I didn't switch off and everything. That happened many times. So it's not something you have to worry about. So I just have to get to my car and drive. So if you leave your door open, there's no problem. So for safety, good. Everything is okay. Doha is a good place to be, and you're definitely to enjoy Doha. I've been in Doha for 15 years. This is home for me. But for the weather, I just believe that November is going to be very good. Sometimes it's not predictable, but definitely it's not going to be very hot. So it can be a little bit humid sometimes, but it will be a good weather. So,
okay.
So I'm just looking forward to seeing everyone in Doha. I'm just a little bit tired. It's been a long day.
Hey, so sorry. And don't worry, for all of you like Kabula, Amala, Pounded Yam, that's your plug. She will get us all those ones, right? You don't have to worry your head about all this one. So thank you, everyone. So please, let's get started. Let's start registering, and then we will see us all in Doha in November. We'll pass all the information in the WhatsApp group. Join the WhatsApp group, and I'll see you. Thank you very much, Yomi, for joining. And thank you, everyone, for joining. I love you all. See, we will build a new tribe of awesome people. Our children, family will turn out right. We will show a different kind of Africans who don't go through depression. We're happy people. We're going to build the framework that secures our happiness. And for those of you who are single, hey, you might just meet your bone of your bone there, and then you might just get hooked, right? And we can't wait to have your testimonies as well. Thank you very much, all of you. God bless you. I'll see you some other time. Bye-bye.